Myasthenia gravis is an autoimmune disease whose key symptoms are fluctuating muscle weakness and fatigue. Myasthenia gravis is caused by autoantibodies targeting components of the neuromuscular junction. The symptoms of the myasthenia gravis include droopy eyelids, double vision, slurred speech, and also weakness in the arms, legs, and neck, which often worsens with activity and improves with rest. These symptoms can fluctuate and usually get worse with repeated use of the muscles. Let's break down what really happens in myasthenia gravis. Here you can see a nerve cell connecting with a muscle cell. Normally, when your brain sends a signal to move a muscle, the nerve cell releases a chemical messenger called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine travels across this gap, called the neuromuscular junction, and binds to special proteins on the muscle cell called acetylcholine receptors. When acetylcholine binds to these receptors, it triggers the muscles to contract. That's how we move. But in myasthenia gravis, the immune system mistakenly produces antibodies that block or destroy these receptors. That's what you see here. Antibodies covering the receptor sites, shown as Y shaped structures. As a result, acetylcholine can't bind effectively. The signal doesn't reach, and the muscles don't properly respond, leading to reduced muscle contraction. This causes the hallmark symptom of the myasthenia gravis, which is muscle weakness. As you can see ptosis over here, which is drooping of the eyelid and is one of the most common early signs of myasthenia gravis. So in short, in myasthenia gravis, your body's own antibodies block the communication between nerves and muscles, leading to fatigue and weakness. The three main types of antibodies found in myasthenia gravis are anti-AChR antibodies. These are the most common. They target the acetylcholine receptors. The second are the anti-MuSK antibodies. These target a protein called MuSK, which is important for clustering acetylcholine receptors. The last one are the anti-LRP4 antibodies. LRP4 is another protein essential for the stability of the neuromuscular junction. Let's look at how these antibodies affect the communication between the neuromuscular junction. The first kind of antibodies block or degrade the acetylcholine receptors, whereas antibodies against MuSK and LRP4 cause the acetylcholine receptor clusters disorganization. These clusters are important to generate substantial signal for muscles to contract, and the failure of this clustering results in the failure of effective muscle signaling. Let's look at how a healthy neuromuscular junction works. Here you can see key proteins like MuSK and LRP4 working together to organize the clustering of the acetylcholine receptors. This clustering is essential so that acetylcholine, the neurotransmitter, can bind effectively and trigger muscle contraction. Now, in MuSK positive myasthenia gravis, for example, antibodies target the MuSK. These MuSK autoantibodies block MuSK's function. This blocks the normal signaling needed to cluster the acetylcholine receptors. At the bottom, you can see how this affects the whole neuromuscular junction. On the left, in a healthy state, acetylcholine is released from the nerve ending and binds to well-clustered receptors, producing strong muscle contraction. On the right, in MuSK-MG, MuSK antibodies cause a loss of receptor clustering and a loss of acetylcholinesterase anchoring. This results in less acetylcholine being used properly, reduced signaling strength, and ultimately muscle weakness. 85% of the patients have the first kind of autoantibodies, whereas only 6% of patients have anti-MuSK antibodies and anti-LRP4 antibodies have only been found in 2% of the patients. This is Biopathway. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to us and leave a comment so that we can know what do you think about myasthenia gravis.